Welcome to AMDA Vibes, where today we are going somewhere most storytellers are afraid to go. Not into a history book, not into a laboratory, into the night, into the spaces between the firelight and the darkness where the old rules still hold, where grandmothers grab your wrist before you can purse your lips, where certain sounds are not made, certain names are not spoken, certain paths are not walked, into the world of Nigerian nocturnal taboos. And the question we are asking is not just what these taboos are, it is why they exist. Because when you look closely, really closely at the rules that govern the Nigerian night, you find something that should make every rational person pause. These rules are not superstition, they are technology. The whistle. In almost every ethnic group in Nigeria across Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Edo, and dozens of other traditions, whistling at night is forbidden. Not discouraged, forbidden. With the seriousness that outsiders find bewildering. Ask a Nigerian grandmother why, and she will tell you whistling calls the spirits, that things which live in the night will hear it and come. The modern mind files this under superstition. The modern mind is missing something, because whistling at night in the Nigerian forest and savannah does something very specific and very real. It attracts snakes, certain species, the African rock python. Certain cobras respond to low-frequency vibrations that closely resemble human whistling. In a village at night, in bare feet, in poor visibility, attracting a large venomous snake is not a spiritual problem. It is a survival problem. The grandmother is not describing metaphysics. She is describing ecology, in a language that will be remembered and obeyed far more reliably than a biology lecture. The name you do not speak. You do not call out a child's full name in the darkness. The spiritual explanation consistent across multiple traditions is that speaking a full name at night draws the attention of spirits that can impersonate that person, can answer in their voice, can lead you out of safety and into danger. The practical explanation sits directly underneath. In traditional communities, one of the most documented methods of luring children out of safety was to use familiar sounds and voices. Human predators, those who would do harm. Not calling a child's full name in the darkness makes that child harder to lure, makes a parent less likely to follow a sound into an unlit forest. The spirit that imitates your child's voice is real. It just wears human skin. The sweeping. Here at AMDA Vibes, this is one of the most fascinating taboos. You do not sweep your house at night. Across Yoruba, Igbo, and many other traditions, sweeping after dark is said to sweep good fortune out of the home, to disturb the ancestors, to invite misfortune. The practical explanation is equally compelling. In a house lit by firelight or in near darkness, sweeping disturbs insects, scorpions hiding in corners, spiders, centipedes, creatures largely immobile in the cool of the night that will defend themselves if suddenly displaced by a broom. Do not sweep at night, because the thing you disturb might sting you before you see it. The crossroads. There are roads in Nigerian villages that nobody walks after dark. Roads that pass certain trees, certain bodies of water, certain crossroads. In Yoruba tradition, the crossroads is a liminal space, where the boundary between the living world and the spirit world is thin, where Yesu, the trickster deity of transitions, holds court. You do not linger at a crossroads at night. The practical reason sits right underneath the spiritual one. Crossroads at night are dangerous for reasons that have nothing to do with spirits. They are places where paths converge, where multiple people might approach from multiple directions without seeing each other, where the direction of safety is not immediately obvious, where disorientation is compounded by multiple possible directions. Do not stand at the crossroads at night. Not because of ESU. Although ESU being who he is, you might want to be careful about that too. The deeper truth. Let us name what this story has actually been doing. Western science is only recently beginning to appreciate what indigenous communities have always known. Indigenous knowledge systems, the accumulated wisdom of communities living in close relationship with specific ecosystems over hundreds of generations, contain genuine, sophisticated, empirically derived survival information. That information is encoded in the most reliable transmission technology available to pre-literate societies. Story, ritual, taboo, spiritual prohibition. When you cannot write a biology textbook, you tell a story about spirits. When you cannot distribute a public health pamphlet, you create a sacred prohibition. When you cannot post a warning sign, you make the dangerous thing forbidden by the ancestors. The information is real. The encoding is spiritual. And the tragedy of colonialism, one of its many tragedies, is that it dismissed the encoding as primitive superstition without asking what the encoding was designed to protect. It threw away the container without asking what was inside. The lesson. So what does the story of Nigerian nocturnal taboos teach us? It teaches us that wisdom does not always wear the clothes you recognize. The grandmother who grabs your wrist before you whistle is not ignorant. She is the repository of accumulated ecological knowledge refined over generations of living in close relationship with the specific environment. Her knowledge is not less valid because it is expressed in spiritual language rather than scientific language. It is differently packaged. The package does not determine the value of what is inside. The second lesson is about what we lose when we lose these traditions. As urbanization accelerates, as younger generations move to cities, as old prohibitions are dismissed as backward and replaced by nothing, the knowledge they encoded disappears. Not just the spiritual tradition, the ecological knowledge, the survival information, gone within a generation. We are losing libraries, not libraries of paper, libraries of practice, encoded in the bodies and voices of grandmothers who know things no university has ever studied. And the final lesson is the most immediate. The next time you encounter a rule that seems irrational, but before you dismiss it, ask one question. What was this rule designed to protect against? Because sometimes the answer is something real, something specific, something the people who made the rule understood and encoded in the only language available to them. Do not whistle in the dark. There are things that will hear you. Some have scales, some walk on two legs, and some, if your grandmothers are to be believed, are something else entirely. Here at AMDA Vibes, we tell these stories because the old wisdom is not dead. It is waiting. In the places where grandmothers still grab your wrist before you make a sound you should not make in the dark. If this story moved you, share it with someone today. Subscribe to AMDA Vibes for more stories that bridge the ancient and the modern. We'll see you in the next one.